What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports. Phillies, they get a sweep of the Chicago Cubs. Yesterday we talked Flyers, paid a little attention to the Phillies. Like I said, today we're recapping yesterday's win and tonight's win on the channel. Nice sweep. That's 9 straight road games. 1 in a row for your fighting Phils. Taijuan Walker once again was brilliant. The offense really showed up yesterday, especially, no thanks to Nola. Allows 2 home runs yesterday. Definitely, once again, not a strong Nola start, so that still proves to you that this year, Nola is just super inconsistent. It's 1 good start, 1 bad start, 1 meh start, 1 horrible start. There is no shred of consistency for Nola. He also snapped his streak of going at least 6 innings. So he only went 5 innings, I believe, in last night's game. Pitch count was up there. He was allowing base runners. He was allowing home runs and everything like that. But the Phillies still found a way to win. Nick Castellanos with a huge home run. Josh Harrison getting into the mix. Edmundo Sosa hitting a home run. So the offense was there and the bullpen helped out. Today, Taijuan Walker, he got into some difficult situations. No thanks to his defense. Kyle Schwarber in the outfield dropping a ball that hits him in the palm. Brandon Marsh dropping a fly ball, bounces in and out of his glove. Every, situation that his defense got him into, he worked out of it. And he looked really good doing so. And that concludes a very dominant month for Taijuan Walker. He's been basically a completely different pitcher this entire month of June. He was fantastic. And hopefully he continues to build off of these starts. Because he's going deep in the ball games, he's giving you quality starts, and he's keeping you within reach to put you in a position to win games. That's what we signed him for, and in his month of June, he has 6 starts this month, 5-1, a 1.50 ERA, 36 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, 34 strikeouts, and 10 walks. That's how dominant Taijuan Walker has been this month. Basically to the same point of Ranger Suarez. Those 2 guys have basically been the top-heavy part of this pitching staff, which really you didn't expect. You would expect that to be Zack Wheeler and Nola. But Zack Wheeler, even though he's shown us the good Zack Wheeler at some points this year, he still has been inconsistent. Not as inconsistent as Nola, though. Zack Wheeler, we still see glimpses of what the good pitcher and dominant guy that Zack Wheeler can be. Nola, we really haven't seen that consistently at all. But those 2 guys at the top, that are supposed to be in the middle of the rotation, Ranger, starting the season injured, doesn't even start it on time, comes in, has a couple of shaky starts, but you expect that coming off of an injury and not really having a spring training at all. Comes in after those few starts, dude becomes one of the best pitchers in baseball. Taijuan Walker comes in, struggles maybe for a month and a half. But basically, since then, he's been a completely different guy. He's been more than enough right now to what you signed for. What those 2 have been doing, basically have been carrying this entire starting rotation. And that's one of the major reasons why you're winning ball games. Offense, they still show glimpses of them struggling with runners in scoring position. I don't know how that can be fixed. I feel like that's just the team's mold this year. They just don't get that clutch hit with runners on. Maybe that'll get better as the season goes along. I have no idea because right now we're almost in July. We're basically a couple of days away from that. And they're still having these issues with runners in scoring position. So I'm not expecting that to change drastically. But who knows? I could be wrong. Bryce Harper actually got a hit with runners on today. That was basically the winning runs of the game. So hopefully, he's still looking for that home run. He's still pressing at the plate. Can't, really time the off-speed pitches. But maybe, he gets that 2-run single, and it, maybe it changes a little bit for him. Kyle Schwarber gets another leadoff bomb in this game on the first pitch, so that's a nice bit to see. Basically, Kyle Schwarber's loving, these leadoff home runs. In the leadoff spot, going deep, first pitch, see you later. That's what Kyle does. And it leads to a series sweep. And the bullpen, once again, for today, was dominant. Junior Marte in the 7th Greg Soto with a 5-pitch 8th inning. And then Craig Kimbrell gets to save. Dominant fashion as always, but it's not a Craig Kimbrell save without a pitch clock violation. He seems to always get those this year. I believe they said he's like in double digits with that. So it's basically the norm there. Every save you're going to get with Craig Kimbrell, he's going to have some type of pitch clock violation. That's just what he is at this point. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay. But 9 straight road wins. I feel like that's the most I saw at the end of the game. That's like the most road wins in a row they've had since like 1984. So they're figuring it out on the road, which is really good to see because their road record basically throughout the middle of May to the end of May was abysmal. You were like near 10 games below 500 on the road to start this year. And now, I believe you are now 1 game below 500 on the road. You're 22-23 there. So you're working your way back up. Get a sweep of the Cubs. Looking at some of your previous road series, you won a 4-game set in Arizona. You swept the Athletics, so that's 3 road wins there. 6 combined actually, 3 in Arizona and 3 in Oakland. And then these 3 today against, well not today, 3 this week against the Cubs. Bounce back from a sluggish homestand. Even though you won the series against the Mets kind of lost that series more than you won it, and then losing those 2 games to Atlanta, it's nice to bounce back, go on the road, and win, against a team that was hot coming into this series. But maybe also you caught the Cubs at the right time, because they were just coming back from London. They had that London series with the Cardinals on Saturday and Sunday, so they're coming in, long-distance flight, across the ocean, a lot of difference, major gap in time, so some jet lag could be involved, some fatigue there. So maybe you caught the Cubs at the right time there, and you took advantage of it, which is good to see. And now you got a weekend series against the Washington Nationals, a team that you should take care of business of before you have, 2 tough series to close out the first half of the season before the All-Star break. Nationals upcoming, then you got 2 series down in Florida, 1 against Tampa Bay and 1 against Miami. Take care of the Nationals, and then you go on that tough stretch to close out the first half of the year. Close it out strong. I want to see that. I want to see a strong closeout to the year. I want to see the pitching continue to do what it's doing, and I really want to see, going up against, the best team in one of the best teams in baseball in the Tampa Bay Rays, and a very hot team in the Miami Marlins. Those team has some tough pitching. Tampa's going through some injuries, so maybe you can take advantage of that. But Miami's got some dominant pitching, especially the young guy in Perez that they just called up. He's been flat out nasty ever since. So it's definitely going to be a tough stretch. But you got a nice start here, sweeping the Cubs, and now your next focus is this home series this weekend against the Washington Nationals. I have no idea what the air quality is going to be like because the air quality is going back to being bad. It was bad today. I wasn't even expecting that. It was bad in Chicago, I remember that, but I'm not even sure how bad. It's still in the unhealthy rating according to my weather app. Not sure what it's going to be like tomorrow for tomorrow's game against Washington. But hey, you got to roll with the punches. I doubt they'll postpone the games. They didn't postpone any of those games in Chicago when the air quality there was not the best. So I'm sure these games will get played. Probably will be depending on weather. But got to roll with the punches like I said. So let's go over these last 2 games here. Let's go with yesterday's ball game. Even though when we were going through the draft last night for the Flyers, still can't get over that. Fantastic night. Getting Michkov at 7. I might do another stream on a different day because I was listening to, the radio today and they were more harping on the negative side of the risk of taking Michkov, and that just rubbed me the wrong way, completely ruined my mood. So maybe we'll have a discussion another day on that, but we'll focus on Phillies right now. Last night's ball game, Phillies win 8-5. Offense definitely showed up, especially the power. 3 for 7 runners in scoring position. Aaron Nola was not good though. 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs allowed, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 2 home runs. 97 pitches through 5 innings. The bullpen had to come in and get the job done. Matt Strahm, 2 innings and 4 strikeouts. Marte in the 8th, 10 pitches, and then Jose Alvarado allowed a couple of hits and an unearned run, but he got the job done regardless. So the bullpen had to take care of business. Your offense did the major of the damage, though. Kyle Schwarber 1 for 5, Trey Turner 1 for 5, Nick Castellanos 2 for 4 with a 3-run shot. Bryce Harper 1 for 4 with an RBI, JT 0 for 4, Alec Boehm 2 for 4, Josh Harrison 2 for 4 with a home run, Edmundo Sosa 1 for 2 with a home run, and Christian Pache 1 for 4. So you got yourself a nice win last night. But we'll more focus on tonight's game. Looking at today, you win 3-1. Bats, they got the Hendricks early. Kyle Schwarber with a leadoff bomb on the first pitch. Then Bryce Harper in the third inning responds after the Cubs tied a game. 2 outs, 2 RBI single right up the middle. Gives the Phillies a 3-1 lead, and that was basically all the offense for the rest of the game. The Cubs got their chances, no thanks to the Phillies defense, like I stated earlier in the stream. But Taijuan Walker worked through everything. He was fantastic today. Absolutely fantastic. 6 innings pitched for Walker, 6 hits, 1 earned run allowed, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. 94 pitches there. The bullpen comes in, does its job. Only 1 hit allowed by the bullpen. 1 hit was by Marte. 2 strikeouts though for him on 16 pitches. Greg Soto comes in, only needed 5 pitches in the 8th inning. Basically a couple of ground outs and a bloop. That's all. And then Kimbrel comes in, only needed 8 pitches in the 9th inning. Struck out 1. His dominant fashion, so Kimbrel's ERA is dropping too, which is nice. And Taijuan Walker's ERA dropped to 3.93. So that really is showing you, 1, how bad his start to the season was, and how good he has been since. Because it was, in the 4s for a little bit, and it's taking a little bit to get down below 4. So this stretch of June has been really good for Taijuan Walker. Looking at the bats today, Kyle Schwarber's only hit was the solo shot in the beginning of the ball game. Trey Turner goes 2 for 4. Quiet night for Nick Castellanos. He goes 0 for 4. Bryce Harper, the winning runs in this ball game, that was his only hit. 1 for 4 with 2 RBI. JT Realmuto 1 for 4. Bryson Stott 0 for 4. Brandon Marsh 1 for 4. Josh Harrison gets another start in this game. Alec Boehm got the night off. 0 for 3 there. And Cody Clemens 1 for 3 at first base. JT Realmuto had a brilliant play defensively in the 9th inning. I believe it was the Cubs. Had a little bit of a bleeder up the infield, going up the first base line. JT Realmuto's running as hell like the player who hit it for the Cubs, and he just underhands it and barely gets it over the first base to Cody Clemens to record the out. Fantastic play there. And just, for as bad as some of the plays the Phillies had defensively in this game, the Cubs were equally as bad at the plate tonight. The Cubs were that bad. There were just certain situations where they had runners on, and I had no idea what the hell they were doing with those guys in those situations. Bottom of the second, obviously, they tie the game after a 2-out triple. Bottom of the 3rd inning, they get a double. Nothing happens there. Bottom of the 4th, they get some runners on. Bellinger walks, then a single, and then a strikeout to get 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Then you get a guy, Madrigal, 2 outs, 2 guys on. Bunts at the first pitch, and it grounds out. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing there? Who in the right mind is calling for a bunt? Because if there is a coach over in the Cubs dugout calling for a bunt with 2 outs and 2 guys on, that guy should be fired. That was a stupid decision. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But it gets dumber. It does. Bottom of the 5th inning, Cubs get more runners on, and then Morel bunts with no outs and 2 guys on for some reason, and then eventually Taijuan Walker gets out of the inning. So you're just gifting the Phillies a free out with that bunt attempt. I'm not sure if it was a suicide squeeze or something like that. The guy that was on second base was a terrible runner. He had no idea what he was doing, because that was during the situation where Kyle Schwarber had the fly ball at the warning track, hits the palm of his glove, bounces out. The guy probably should have been on third base, but he wasn't. And eventually all that stuff happened. Should have scored on a single as well, so the Cubs were just gifting the Phillies free insurance basically the entire game. With the way they were running the bases, with the way they were swinging the bats in clutch moments. It was just not good. It was not good. Bottom of the 6th inning, Taijuan Walker gets out of another situation from Brandon Marsh dropping a ball. then basically that was it for the rest of the ball game. Cubs offense couldn't do anything against the Phillies bullpen besides a 2-out single against Marte, and that was basically it for the Cubs. They went down 1, 2, 3 in their shares of the 8th and the 9th. It was a very quick ball game. It was like around barely 2 hours, I would say, maybe a little bit over 2 hours. That all shows you the way the pitching was and how bad the offense was for both teams tonight. So, I don't mind quick ball games, though. I very do appreciate quick ball games, especially when games are like at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I don't mind that at all. I definitely don't mind that. But it's nice to see you get a sweep. Always nice. Always nice, especially after last season when the Cubs literally owned you. You were the Cubs bitches. You lost every single game last year to the Cubs, and you won 5 out of 6 this year against the Cubs, which is nice, which is very good. Very, very good. Now you move on to the Nationals. And the pitching matchups, I believe, this weekend for the Phillies and the Nationals this weekend, if I can stop repeating myself and just get to it. Christopher Sanchez against Josiah Gray. Then Zack Wheeler on Saturday against Mackenzie Gore. And then Ranger Suarez on Sunday against Trevor Williams. So you got 5th starter on Friday. Zack Wheeler. Hopefully, Zack Wheeler's last outing against the Washington Nationals definitely was not good. I'm sure he's going to be looking for some type of revenge there. And then Ranger Suarez looking to continue his strong pitching on Sunday. I'm going to Sunday's game, so hopefully I get myself a little bit of a nice treat there. Would be nice to see. And that's the final home game for the rest of the first half. The Phillies played a lot of road games in the first half, so I believe they're going to be doubling down on the home games in the second, so that'll be nice to see. So after that Washington series, you play the Tampa Bay Rays, and then the Miami Marlins. First game against Tampa Bay is Tuesday at 4 o'clock. That's July 4th, which is understandable, an afternoon game. Aaron Nola against Zach Eflin. So Zach Eflin, you're going to be seeing him for the first time since leaving the Phillies in free agency. So that'll be interesting. What is Zach Eflin's numbers on the year? I'm actually kind of interested. 9-3 with a 3.29 ERA. Good for him. Definitely good for him. Good for him. Taijuan Walker's going to be pitching that Wednesday game against Tampa, and then Christopher Sanchez in the last game of that series against Shane McClanahan. But let's not go too far there. But you are going to have Zack Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, and Aaron Nola in that series against the Miami Marlins. I would say that's probably the best pitching matchups you can get. But Aaron Nola, probably want Taijuan Walker there. Honest to God, not going to lie. Just in my opinion. Just in my opinion. So looking at the Nationals pitchers, Josiah Gray is 5-6 with a 3.43 ERA, 1.40 whip. You know he's going to strike guys out, but he can also get blown up. He's definitely due. The Phillies are definitely used to this kid. They can get to him. Mackenzie Gore, he is 4-6 with a 3.89 ERA. Definitely, he was one of the guys that was traded over in the Juan Soto deal. Very high probable pitcher, a high ceiling pitcher. Definitely has some nasty stuff in his arsenal. His last outing against the Padres, 5 innings, 9 strikeouts. He doesn't go deep into games, though. Goes around 5.5, 6 innings. So he really doesn't go that deep in the ball games. He pitched against the Phillies this year. 6 innings, 9 hits allowed, 6 strikeouts, and 3 earned runs, and a home run allowed. So the Phillies, they're familiar with him. And then Trevor Williams, he is 4-4, 4.28 ERA. Definitely a guy that can get roughed up. His one start against the Phillies this year, 5 2/3, 4 earned runs allowed, 2 home runs, and 6 strikeouts and 4 walks. They're the Washington Nationals. You can get to this team. What's their record on the year? 32-48. You can get to them. You should be able to beat this team. Win a series. Win a series. That's all you got to do. The sweep is just the icing on the cake. Focus on winning the series. That's all that matters at this point. Your record now, you're 43-37. You are 6 games above 500. Still 10 games behind in the division now, so that's still going to be a thing that lasts. Marlins have won 5 in a row. Braves have won 5 in a row. These teams just keep winning. They just keep winning. The Marlins, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't know if they're for real. I don't know if their first half schedule is just that easy. I don't know what's going on with them. I know they just got Jazz back, so maybe that's a little bit of a spark for their lineup, but is, a rise just that gigantic spark plug that they needed? I don't know. It may be a healthy Soler. They're doing all this without Sandy Alcantara pitching to Cy Young caliber form. So I don't know if they're due for major regression in the second half. I don't know. I don't know. I physically just don't know. Braves are 53-27. They just continue to dominate the league. Mets, they continue to lose. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They had bases loaded in the 9th inning, down 3-2 to the Brewers today. Starting Marte up at the plate. What did he do? He swung at 3 pitches and struck out on 3 pitches. Swing and miss, foul ball, swing and miss. Shows you how the Mets are just continuing the Met. Don't you just love to see it? The rest of the league, the Brewers and the Reds, they are tied for first place in the Central. The West, NL West, Diamondbacks, they're 48-34. Dodgers are in second place, and the Giants are in third. American League, Tampa Bay is still Tampa Bay. They're basically the best team in baseball besides the Atlanta Braves. Probably even better than the Atlanta Braves at this point, because that's, Tampa Bay just manages to be good every year. Baltimore, they're in second place. Yankees third. Blue Jays fourth. That division is stacked. AL Central, all those teams suck. No one's above 500. Everyone is below 500 in that division. And the AL West, Rangers still control it by 5 games. Astros are in second. Angels are in third. And the Mariners are in fourth, still below 500. So yeah. Fun times here. Fun times so far. Phillies sweep. Now you move on to the Nationals. Pitching has been fantastic, besides Aaron Nola. Bullpen has been fantastic, specifically the back end. Just continue to move on. Just keep rolling from here. 9 straight wins on the road. Let's see where it leads us. What does it do against the Washington Nationals this weekend at home? Let's see. Let's see. So, it's going to do it for tonight, everybody. We don't have anything on the Anytime Hotline, so we're going to end it off here. Not many guys in the live feed either. I do see some of you guys watching, but you don't have to comment on the video. Does not matter to me. I see Star Wars in here. Walker 9-3 on the season. Yeah, Walker has been really good this past month and a half, and the bullpen too. So, it's going to do it for tonight, everybody. Thank you for joining as always. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I like to see those. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. Don't forget to check out everything in the description down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. Also, don't forget to use the code TTPSPORTS. $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thank you once again for joining tonight, everybody. I'll see you next time.